Alright, so I'm done. I have it all together. I have it all polished. I still need the little piece right here, the little mesh, screen mesh. So I'm going to dirty it up first and then I'll put the screen mesh in. So I just got some gloss black and I'm just going to mist it. I want to get a little bit here, like in the screen, a little bit here, and then I'll do a little bit more on the side. I'm going to mist it from kind of far. I'm just going to go slowly at first, and then I might have to get just a tiny bit of, just wipe it down maybe with a little bit if I don't like it. There's a little bit of a mark I've seen on the top of them. So this could almost simulate like you're driving a Scout Trooper speeder bike, and you get a little bit of the blow-by on you. So I've been working and my hands are dirty and I've been touching it and I've been scraping it and scratching it here and there, not on purpose, by accident. And it's kind of giving it a little bit of that dirtiness. So again, I might just hit a little bit of just a little bit cleaning it just a little bit, just seeing, maybe going back over it again. But basically that's all I want, is just a tiny bit. You don't want a whole bunch sticking on there. So just for now, this is what I got. I'll come back later. I'll probably maybe use a little bit of kind of like how I do the Death Trooper, and just put a little bit of dirtiness on the ears, maybe some in the eyes right here, just a little bit here and there, not a lot. But almost done, not quite. On the actual Return of the Jedi, I was looking at it and a lot of these decals are really messed up. In case he wants to go 501st, I don't want to tear him up that badly. I just want to kind of do a slight bit of dirtiness, slight bit of, I don't know if you can see it, it's real hard to see in up close and personal. You can see it in the picture, it might be a little bit harder, but there's a scratch here, there's a scratch right here, there's a little bit of scratching up here. I think I got another scratch, yep, right here. And this is all totally by accident. I didn't really do it on purpose. So I got, when I was walking out of the door when I was doing my drill weekend, there's a little bit of a spot right here where I hit the door. Well, the door had like a spring on it, so it closed on me, and it hit the helmet, and it cracked it. You can it's really hard to see. I can't quite see it right now, the light's a little low, but if you look in person, maybe in the light you can probably see it. And then there's still a tiny bit, whoops, right here there's a tiny little bump right here, and then right here there's a tiny bit of a bump where if you look at where the center part met up, it didn't quite get smooth. But I mean, the helmet's supposed to be dirty, so it doesn't necessarily have to be perfect. I would want it to be perfect, but this is actually turned out a lot better than I want. I usually do, I make it really shiny. I like them shiny. So this is kind of the first time I'm doing a little bit of the dirtiness. So I'm not 100% sure if I like it just yet. I'll probably, like I said, just sand it just a little bit. Not necessarily sand it with sandpaper. I don't really want to get the shine out. I still want the shine in there because just like the sand troopers, they didn't sand it down and then put all the dirt on, just like in the regular army. You're still going to have clean spots on your helmet or your armor. So I'm going to leave it shiny still. So technically, if you really wanted to, other than those little pieces that I showed you where it has scratches in it, you can polish all this paint off, and then whenever I put the little bit of dirtiness on there, you can polish all that stuff off and go back to being shiny. You're just going to have these few little scratches that I have in it. But I think being dirty, I think the scratches, you kind of have to have scratches. I just don't really want to scratch it because I like how shiny it is, and then it gives them the option of going back to shiny if he wants to. That's why I don't want to tear up any of the decals. So if he wants to say shiny, he can. I still need to actually drill out, or not drill out, but use a Dremel and a cutoff wheel, cut right here, cut right up here on these two spots on both sides, and then put the elastic for the chin cup. So that that's the last thing. I already have. Let me see if I can show it to you guys real quick. I do this on all my Scout helmets. This one, it's a little bit tight, and then the screws are actually cutting into the helmets. But if you could see that, I have little pieces in there where the lens will rest in there. Let's see if I can get my hand in there. Oh, this one's going to be a little bit difficult. Go forward this, and this will actually turn. I'll turn one real quick. Ooh. There we go. There we go. So you can see how I turned it, and that's what holds the lens in. So I'm still not 100% liking it because it rubs, the little screw rubs it. So I might have to fix it, go a little bit smaller where these aren't so high. They're hitting. It's hard for me to show you. Get down. The light is getting too dark. Oh, this is going to be too hard to show. There it is. Ooh. So right here, I might have to make these just a little bit smaller, but I don't know if they're going to hold the lens in. Okay, so the helmet is finally done. I have the chin strap in. So I've never done an RS before, so I had no idea. I've seen a black piece. I thought it was maybe Velcro when they closed it. I had no idea it was part of the chin strap. I went online and actually looked at Return of the Jedi ones, and I found out that you cut 2 slits on both sides, and then you bring the chin strap. Well, first you cut 2 slits into the chin strap. This is where the actual chin goes. This is closer to your throat. You wind it through there. It comes through the top, comes down, goes through the bottom, and then I just glued it in here. Same thing with that one, through the top, came down to the bottom, and glued it there so that it's stretchy enough. It'll actually stretch. I put it on and it fits fine, other than I have big ears, so this part kind of hits my ear a little bit when I put it on, but it's not too bad. So I finished that part. I got all the dirtiness done. And then in the face, I kind of adjusted. I didn't like where the visor was. It was sitting just a little bit too far up, so I pushed it back. The only problem I had with that is I normally put the lens in. What I'll do is I'll be using excess plastic I have, and I made a little piece down here where the bottom of the lens sits in. I don't like doing the whole big old piece. I try to use as little as possible so it doesn't hit your nose. So I have 2 slots, and then this part swivels with 2 screws. The only part that I put the face very close to here, so these little screws actually hit the helmet hits it right here and hits it right here. You're never going to see that because it's going to be sitting like that. Even when you raise it up, you won't see it, but that's just, it's going to always hit right there. So maybe when I do another helmet, I won't put it quite so close. I'll have it back maybe half an inch, so it sits, the face sits in a little bit more. Or maybe I'll have to think of something, another way to do the lens. But I like taking the lens out, because in that way, if the lens ever goes bad, I can take it out and give me another piece of lens. Some people don't like the lens. Some say, oh, it's too dark, it's too light. Whatever the excuses are, I think it's fine. So I have two slots. One's here, one's here. In the very bottom of the lens, I just fit it in there in the slots. Once it's in the slot, then I just make sure it's just a little bit below my little plastic pieces, and then I just twist them just a tiny bit, just enough to where, I'll make sure it's in the right spots. So it's just, it locks it down, so now the face, the lens isn't going anywhere. And then with the snout, so I went ahead and painted it with the snout. Like I told you before, I wanted to make a hole. So I made a hole, I drilled out the resin screen mesh, and then I put my own screen mesh in and then just glued it in. I drilled a tiny hole. Well, first I just put it on, and I drilled a hole in the plastic first, and then I just put this on, and then from behind I just barely started a little bit of a hole, so I knew exactly where they meet up, and then I drilled it the rest of the way. Again, I wanted to put it to where it was the biggest part of the motor. This is I can't remember what model kit it's from. Some Yamaha, maybe it's a motorcycle engine. I can't remember exactly. But this head, or this cylinder head, that's the meatiest part of this whole resin piece. So I drilled the hole there, drilled the hole here, so that I could put it in. And you can glue it in if you want to. And then I just have a regular screw with a washer. And then I just screw it down. So if I wanted to, I can glue it, or I could just screw it down and it's not going to fall off. Unless, I mean, I got to pull really hard for it to fall off. So whenever I'm chooping the glue, you never know. It might not glue in there perfectly. This might not be flush. In fact, as I look at it, I can tell one end is flush over here, one end is not. So when I glue it down, that means that the glue isn't going to really be hitting on this part, and it could break off. You see how it moves a little bit? It could break off if you hit something. So I like it better to just screw it down so it doesn't come out. So I just put just a tiny bit of acrylic paint. So I painted it with regular spray paint from kind of far away, maybe 2-3 feet away, just to mist it. And then I put just a little bit of like a paintbrush, but it was more of a sponge tip, and a lot of water, and I diluted the black and brown acrylic, and then I just dabbed it on, and then I wiped it off, and I just kept slowly doing it, just a little bit at a time. I don't want a lot. I don't want it to come out like Mr. Coleman or Dirty Trooper. And then you can just see just a few little dirty spots here and there. Nothing really pronounced. I mostly got it to where maybe the dirt will collect in here, maybe around the 3M bolts, maybe a little bit on the cheeks right here. Not really much on the flat parts. That's where I like the carbon scoring or the exhaust or whatever you want to call it, the black stuff right here. And put a little bit of brown here and a little bit of brown there, brown and black, and wiped it off. Same thing with the helmet, where it might, the mud or dirt or whatever might come into the ear, sit the engine or the helmet down or whatever. It might get dirt and whatnot, or you're just driving around, maybe dirt, mud's getting flung around, and then a little bit right here and a little bit up here. just a tiny bit around where these pieces are, and then a little bit down here, just a tiny bit on top. Nothing real extravagant, because again, I don't want it to be coal miner dirty. I just want it to be, you're out in the field dirty. And then here's the headliner. I put it in before. It's a pain in the butt, so you guys are probably gonna laugh while I try to put this in and this at the same time. Well, actually, I can put this in, and then the screws I won't put in, I'll put this in, and then I gotta put my hands through here and try to screw it in like this. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll see if I can get it done. So I just normally put one side in once it's in. So you're gonna end up eventually, hopefully once you're done, you won't have to. Got it stuck where I can't take it off now. So when you're done, and you, if you keep taking it on and off, you're gonna scratch it up quite a bit right here, or whatever side you decide to go on. So this is, there you go. This is the hardest part, is just trying to push it out and get it into that hole. So now that I have it in, I can set it down and then try and get this in. So it's going to be like this going down. This is a headband, and then this part you can adjust. Again, this is not easy. And hopefully this will be my last time taking it on and off all apart. I'm hoping with my box, when I ship it, that it'll all ship together in that one box without me having to really mess with it. Alright, so having a problem with this, I'm going to have to adjust this all the way down. There we go. Should have called you in there earlier to move it out, but I probably missed a lot of the video. Alright. That's what you want, huh? Let's see. Line this side lined up in the hole. Let me line up this other side. That snap's still gonna be too big, so I'm gonna have to undo the snap and just push it in as far as I can. And once I get it on, then I can adjust it back out. I don't normally use these helmet liners or hard hat liners. I just normally use foam. I did put this in before, but again, it was not easy. Okay, so I got them both in the hole, but the 3M screws barely stick through, and it's hard for me to see because it's so dark. They barely fit through, so hopefully I can screw them down again. The only thing I don't like is these screws are made out of 3D print, so I don't know how long they'll last trooping wise. If they were just a tiny bit longer, it would be easier to screw this in. Without the hard hat liner, this is easy, very easy. This chin strap doesn't make it any easier. I think I'm close. That might work. There we go. Okay, I got one side in. Don't want to go too tight. Move this a little bit. Okay. this side. Oh, it'd be great if I was an alien and had a third hand here. Oh, this one's a pain. Hey, babe, you want to help me? Oh, this third one being a pain. Or second one, I'm sorry. Can you hold the nut, the 3-in bolt right here? Let's push that in. Let's see. This one's such a pain. Oh, I think I got it. Oh, I have it. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I got it. Okay, so I noticed in one of the videos, one guy was saying that his hard hat liner, you could see the blue thing. So here's the blue thing right here. So hopefully it doesn't get in the way. I'm gonna see if I can kind of move it. Last time I had it in, I kind of tilted this just a tiny bit and moved the hard hat liner, the front visor part, more in to where it's inside the helmet. So I have it, see if we can see. It's a horrible lighting, but I have it inside. So let me try it on real quick. Fun part. Okay, there it is. All done. Actually, isn't too bad. You can kind of bring the helmet up. You don't want to tilt it up too much because then you might end up cracking or breaking something. Oh, again, it hurts my ears taking it off. The only problem is the hard hat liner hurts your head. It hurts it a lot. So I'll go ahead and do a 360 real quick so you can see what it looks like. Get this down here, there we go. I don't know if you can see the dirt. It's kind of not very bright in here, but kind of washes the dirt out. But I got a little bit of carbon here, a little bit of carbon up here. A little bit of carbon right here, plus some dirt. A little bit of dirt in here, some dirt in here. Some more carbon up here. And then also up here, there's a little bit of dirt and carbon. And then more carbon over here, a little bit of dirt in here. And right here, up here. On the sides, there's dirt, more dirt. Did just a tiny amount of dirt in here, some more dirt there. There we go. A little bit of dirt in here, just a tiny bit in here, tiny bit up in the visor area. Let's see if you can see the snout. You can see the screen I made for it. I think it looks a lot better, this screen. You can paint that silver, but it just does not look nearly as good unless you put an actual screen in there. Alright, so it's done. Finally. Only took me 3 weeks-ish, no, maybe more, maybe 3-4 weeks. But it's all done. And I have 2 more projects. I got this KB episode 8 helmet, and then I also have their Shore Trooper helmet. So I'm doing one for me and one for my buddy. And then that one's just a B grade helmet I'm giving away to a friend. And then some armor that I'm just waiting on the canvas belt so I can put that together. And then, oh, the Scout armor. I'm gonna do another video, and I have some Scout armor. It's pretty much done. All I really need to do is I'll show it in another video. I'll just go over it real quick. I've already done the little pieces so that I can put the elastic on it. So all of it's been trimmed, sanded. I got all those cut out. I already got the thermodet done. The holster's done. I still got to glue these on. Oh, and then I got to do the belt. I put the two onto the bigger one down here. So I still got a couple more little things, but it's mostly done. I'm just waiting for the owner to come, and then she's gonna bring all the elastic I need, and then we're gonna strap it together with her daughter here. Because this armor, you have to have it, the Scout armor, you have the elastic on it right here, so you have to do it with the person there, because you could make it too big, you could make it too small. So it's better, well, just like the Stormtrooper armor, it's better for them to be there. Alright, finally done. Episode, I think 14. So always like, comment at the bottom. Thank you.